Welcome back, viewers. We're getting a bit of feedback from the Free and Fair Elections Forum at Hotel Africana yesterday and today. Is it continuing?
Ends tomorrow.
Ends tomorrow. And getting a feel of so what after the conference. I'll pick up 1, 2, 3 voices from this conference, if I can have those run, and then I'll come back to Andrew.
So let's establish democratic institutions, and they will be established through our struggle. They won't come easily. I must criticize this whole idea of saying that if we had to struggle, we can only struggle when donors give us money to come and meet in Africana.
We should have made this journey in vain. I hate a wasted journey. Let this not be a wasted journey. Let us take a stand.
They will not manipulate a population. And I think that's where the solution lies. It's not immediate, it's a process, but we need to focus on that.
Dr. Besigye raises one. He thinks that, he critiques the concept of the civil society and other groups only sitting after receiving donor funding. Genomuntu says this is a long struggle. Olaro Tunu, doctor, touches the issue of a journey in vain, that let this be not a journey in vain. Andrew, what guarantees as Ugandans do we receive that this is not a journey in vain? Going back to the questions I asked earlier, how do you get these Ugandans that demonstrate if there is an abuse in hospitals? If the doctors are not paid, they will put down their tools and they will do it. If the traders are abused, if they feel the tax is abusive, they will shut their shops and go home. The teachers have tried. Yet, if there is something that you think should touch all Ugandans, God forbid if the child that died last week at KCCA had died in another place, lo and behold, the city would be on fire. In Kampala, we shrug and life goes on. So, how do you get that population? What is it about that population that isn't you?
Well, this is a process, indeed, as you've said. And in any other places that we've had change, these questions have arisen as well about why, for example, the Egyptians waited 4 decades, why the Tunisians waited for an equally long time, why did it take the Burkinabe 28 years to resolve the question of, to change government. In a process, you have, until you raise a critical mass of people who believe in a certain goal or objective, you may not be able to move towards achieving that objective. Now, how do you get Ugandans to see these issues as seriously as they do when their salaries are not paid on time, or when things that affect their particular trade? Indeed, it's processes like this, civic and voter education, that will, with time, impress upon Ugandans the fact that politics cannot be ignored. The price that you pay for ignoring public affairs is to be ruled by the evil men or the rogues, as you've put it. So, for as long as we see these matters as separate from the politics, then we will not be able to effect the changes that will actually resolve the bigger problem. So, in answering your question, I'll say we have to continue. It's a struggle. The struggle is not a tea party. It's actually a struggle, as Dr. Besigye has mentioned. I believe that where there's impunity, again, onto this matter of impunity, where there's impunity, the panacea is activism. Dr. Businja Kabumba today gave the keynote address in which he mentioned the fact that what we have is a military regime clothed in constitutional niceties and so on. When Ugandans appreciate that fact, then we can hope for more appropriate responses to the situation. And this is a process, it takes time. It's not an overnight thing. And I prefer, actually, that this is a citizen-driven process and not a process where you have a messiah or a liberator or a savior, because we've been there, we've seen what liberators do, we've seen what messiahs do. It is better when everyone appreciates this, and then we can move at the same wavelength. If we have that critical mass, we can have this change happen. It's not a hopeless situation. And also, let's cut Ugandans some slack. You have a population
Let me read this to you. This is Musunga Deogracius. Musunga Deogracius says, Peter, isn't this one of those other elite conferences where they sit and speak good English and it doesn't affect me? Would it change if that conference had sat in Oyam, where I do my work, and the people listen to this and they are whipped up? Why don't they talk to the people of Kawempe who will appreciate the other needs? I think governance and governance and governance is too much. Then I have Alex Sendaura. Alex Sendaura tells me, Chivazo, for as long as people are talking democracy, democracy, it is abstract. Can you talk about things that I can see, like the hospital where I go and the doctor isn't there? Or who is responsible for paying for school teachers and the salary never comes if it doesn't come? Isn't that more pertinent than democracy? Jarius Emma says, I like the whole conference. I hope it impacts Parliament.
Thank you, gentlemen, for your comments. I'd respond first to the...
Very briefly.
Yes, elite conferences. Let's make no mistake. This process has been built from, as you've heard over the last hour, as I've been stating, we've involved, in fact, Oyam, all those areas, the country has been covered by the regional conferences, and we're now here in Hotel Africana. But also, we should not apologize
for doing something.
For doing something, but also, no one should make you apologize, Peter, for being, for having an intellectual discussion, because society is structured. If the purpose of educated people, the purpose of those who enjoy certain positions in society is to make that society better, my law degree should benefit the peasants of the district where I come from and the country at large. Not everyone can be in this position. If I am in this position, I owe it to the rest of Ugandans to use this situation that I am in to benefit the country. We should this characterization of elite as being distant and so on. What is elitist about demanding free and fair elections? What is
have to go.
Yeah, what is elitist about demanding a process that is inclusive for all Ugandans? I think those characterizations are flawed. Everyone should play their part, and then we can have a country that we all like and enjoy to live in as citizens.
Thank you very much, Andrew. I know we called you in at short notice, but it's been a pleasure having you here. And viewers, if you can still make the leg and go to Hotel Africana tomorrow, I know the conference will close tomorrow, we'll continue this discussion. There are a lot of questions still coming in that will certainly be addressed and asked. And finally, we need to put our eyes on Parliament and see if and when finally the process comes to Parliament, what happens? And then how does that process translate into value for you and I in the nation? Good night.
Thank you.